Okay guys, in this video we're going to be taking another look at Cardano and specifically the price action of ADA. Obviously we have seen a significant push this week with all-time highs getting set, but what are we to expect to happen next? Guys, as we get into this video, if you find it useful, informative, then do go ahead and hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here. Right, with all that said, done out of the way, let's get into some technical analysis here for Cardano. We're going to start things off with this weekly chart. We are paired up with the USDT and we are on Binance, okay, as the data source. So we can obviously see there's been a good price action. All-time highs have been set this week, but obviously, you know, there are a few things that we need to discuss on the road up towards our $10 target, okay? Now, obviously, we take a look at the stochastic. We are heading up into the overbought area. The fast line's already there at 82.9, and the slow line's at 53.8, okay? So there's a little bit of progress still to be made. And again, like we have seen previously, we can spend some time at the top here without worrying too much. Now, obviously, we actually saw basically the bottom out of our stochastic RSI before actually pushing up to the all-time high in the top of wave 3 before having that final correction come in and bottom out. So Cardano has actually performed quite well. It stayed quite a bit of time up in the overbought area. So this is less concerning to us on this weekly chart. So we have plenty of time here to kind of spend accumulating and obviously building up the price of ADA over time. Now obviously there were pullbacks during the previous run, this wave 3 run, and again this really helped just fuel, right? Nothing moves up in straight lines. We can see that there are corrections on this journey that we've had for Cardano, and again we haven't yet really seen anything like this, but we are expecting something on the horizon in the short term. So we will be looking for those pullbacks. I think either that's going to happen once we start to see the smart contracts actually roll out, but other than that I think we're going to be in a pretty good run here for Cardano. So let's actually jump down into that daily view, right? Because this is where we start to see some of the price action in a little bit more detail, and we can talk about where things are going, right? We can see that the first price target that we've been talking about for Cardano here is at $3.37. Here you can see that we actually have been pushing up. Yesterday we almost got to the all-time high. A bit disappointed that we didn't quite get there. We had the pullback today, and then again the candle wick today has also pushed us up a little bit higher. So we actually had the high today coming in at $2.93. All-time high is $2.97. So we're just falling short a little bit, but things are definitely getting ready to actually push up to that next level. So in my previous ADA video, I did think it was going to happen within the next 6 hours. It didn't actually happen. We actually started to see a bit of a pullback, a bit of a reversal, but we are looking at some really tight technicals now that are showing us that we are imminent for this push to the next level, right? And I do have my target set at $3.37. Okay, we can see that we are heading to the oversold area just down here on the stochastic. So plenty of room to grow to the upside. We have to be mindful though that we can still continue to trade sideways, bottom this out to a little bit lower before we absolutely do have that amazing run that we are talking about, pushing the price of Cardano's ADA to significant heights. So there's still quite a bit of progress to be made. Obviously we need to see this come down a little bit, but again we might just see that sentiment just push it above and beyond anyway. And on that note, let's actually pick up on the 𝗲𝗏 dashboard, right? Because 𝗲𝗏.io, if you're unfamiliar, uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to get the underlying value of cryptocurrency assets. And here for Cardano's ADA is up an A2 rating. This is the second best rating that this platform can provide. A1 is the best rating and an A2 is second best. Okay, so this is actually showing Cardano in a very, very good light. We can also see here that the fear and greed index that is specific to Cardano is up at the best rating in A1. This is basically indicating that there is extreme greed. Now, when it comes to extreme greed, this is usually where profits are being taken, so we have to be a bit careful about investing at this time. Normally you buy the fear and not the greed, right? So when there's greedy markets, you generally see profits being taken. This is in line with understanding that we are looking for some pullbacks that we haven't seen just yet, okay? So we have to be mindful over what is likely to come in the very near future. Now, as we scroll down here, we can see the moving averages are up there, an A2 rating. We can see the Sharpe ratio, right? The Sharpe ratio is risk to rewards. By holding Cardano right now, there is very limited risk to holding it, as this associated with this artificial intelligence and machine learning. An A2 rating, the second best this platform can provide. It is well spiked above the 50-day average and is performing very, very well. The B2 rating for the peak end value demand. We have profitability being the best it can in A1. The AMI-HAD ratio indicating the liquidity is up there in A2 rating. Overall, Cardano is looking like a very good asset to be invested in right now. And again, I'll be really interested to see if this makes it to the A1 rating in the next little while, if things do progress the way that I'm seeing that they are on the charts. So let's get back into this, right? So we can obviously see that there's good progress being made here for Cardano. Now, obviously, the sideways trading that we're starting to see here has helped us get down to the low area here, but obviously on the stochastic, we can go down a little bit lower. Let's actually take this down into our hourly view, and the hourly then shows us a bit more of the clarity of what's been going on. The sideways trading to be more specific. So yesterday we could obviously see the spiking up, didn't quite get to the all-time high. We saw it again today, not quite getting there, and the pullback. Now what we saw here was basically, being oversold and pushing the price, or at least the stochastic to the upside, without doing too much price discovery. If we actually throw the volume on yesterday, you can see that the volumes just were not there. They were not impressive. And right now things are also in a very similar ilk. We're up here and quite high on the stochastic RSI, and we can see the volumes actually decreasing over time. Okay, so this is basically not allowing us to have price discovery at this point. Now, what we have to be a little bit alarmed with here is whether or not we are going to correct this, stochastic RSI without actually increasing this volume in a selling way. Okay, so if we start seeing selling pressure coming in and it's quite significant, then we will be targeting our trend line just here. Okay, so this would actually potentially put the price down towards our $2.75, 76, around that kind of area just down here. Okay, but on that journey, of course, there's some really good, strong support lines that have now formed. So hopefully that won't actually come into fruition. But we have to be mindful that it is a trend line here that we have touched on multiple times before. And obviously the downward trend that we broke out of most recently as well. So this sideways trading is key to just allowing us to correct some of the technicals. But it is quite disappointing to see that even though that we've had this green moment here, the volumes are just not there. There's not enough people actually buying Cardano at this point in time. And I think this is down to basically being people just kind of watching the space, looking at a few technicals and saying, ultimately we do need to see a pullback first before we actually start investing in it. So they might be buying the dip scenario in the near future. And again, like I said, they're extremely greedy, right? So we have to be mindful over all the various different things that we can see in the data. Now, obviously on this hourly chart, we are going to be talking about short-term pullbacks like we have, right? And obviously that will mean that we'll go back into the oversold area where we would like to see some good strong volume come in so that we can push that stochastic back to the upside. Of course, in line with our daily chart where we are talking about potentially going down a little bit lower back into the oversold area as one possible scenario, we have to be mindful that there is plenty of room to allow that kind of correction to come in. And when we take a look at the weekly, guys, we have the same scenario, right? We are talking about not seeing these corrections that we have done previously. We need to see the sideways trades. Now, we are only 2 weeks away from smart contracts. A lot of this is going to be built up on hype, but eventually we are going to have to see a correction come in on this weekly chart as well. So everything right now is an interesting one. It's a bit of a mixed bag, trying to play in both ends of the field here, which is actually quite an interesting kind of perspective because you're able to work in both ways, right? You're able to basically short and go long when the times come. So right now, everything looks like a short-term pullback on the hourly, and then obviously pushing up on the kind of medium time frame. So again, on the kind of the bigger time frame, the weekly here, we are looking for a pullback as well. And again, the month of September is going to be an interesting one with smart contracts launching during the month of September. I think we're going to see hopefully a pretty good middle to end of September run for Cardano, and I think the beginning couple of weeks could be a little bit rocky to start with, but we'll have to see how things play out in the case of ADA. Guys, hopefully you have found this brief update on Cardano useful and informative. If you have, then do go ahead and hit the like button. I really appreciate that. If you are new, then do subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next